Ryan Garcia is known since he was a kid that he was special, and everybody around him knows that he's special.
We started at age 7. He wanted to achieve these goals where he could beat up a championship boxer like Luke Campbell, who was a gold medalist, and that's a kid's dream.
You're never gonna be at your best, ever, but you're always striving to get there. Right now, Ryan, he's at that stage where he's climbing the ladder and he's almost there to the top.
He could have taken lots of other fights, made millions of dollars with lesser opponents, and people would come out to see him. But he feels that he's the best. You have to fight the best and prove it.
I was willing to put myself on the line for the sport to get the respect that I feel I deserve. So I did everything I could to make it happen, and I didn't take no for an answer.
This is a mega fight. The 2 best fighters in their division. This is what you do when you believe in yourself. This is what you do when you've worked your whole life for something.
I think this fight is the biggest fight of our era, maybe this fight of the decade, just because of the magnitude. We never get to see the best against the best. We never get to see 2 undefeated. Usually we see mismatches, and I can tell you who's going to win. Because every fighter likes to calculate, I don't want to lose my hope. They're willing to risk it all.
With only days remaining, Ryan Garcia's final training preparations resemble a controlled experiment, precise, calculated, and intensely focused on the upcoming clash with Mario Barrios. The atmosphere in camp feels disciplined and methodical, reflecting a deliberate push to sharpen every detail before fight night.
What's up, guys? We're here at TNT facility with my strength and conditioning coach, Cipriano, also known as Sip, also known as Uncle. I could keep going all day, but today I'm gonna go in with you guys through my strength and conditioning workout. You're gonna see what helps me with my speed and my power. Obviously, God gifted. Thank the Lord all day long for my power and speed. So fast, use it for good, but then when I fight, I just knock somebody out. But Sip helps strengthen it, got sharpen the tools. So you're gonna see how I do it today. Let's get it.
Today's our cardio day, baby. So the stuff that we're doing today is not traditional, right? We're gonna be moving fast. We got 10 rounds, we got 30 seconds, simulating a 3-minute round with a minute break in between. Y'all better stop playing and get ready. All right, so here we go. Our first workout on this 10 rounds. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get down low, we're gonna explode, right? Which is gonna work that serratus muscle. So when Ryan takes his shot, everything is coming through here, and it's all the big boxer muscle. There it is. That's what we do. Damn, only halfway. You already did 100 of them. There you go. Come on. Let's go, nephew. Get it.
In the training footage, the atmosphere is stripped of distraction. No chatter, no spectacle, just the sharp, metallic cadence of gloved striking pads and the focused intensity of structured mid-work. At the center of it all, Ryan Garcia shouts a promise to himself that he will win regardless of the obstacles ahead. The moment doesn't feel theatrical. It comes across as purposeful conditioning, a mental alignment as much as a physical one.
Our 5th workout, once again, a low impact on the body. So now we're going fast. Keep hitting them halfway. We're doing it quick. Once again, get that heart rate up. There we go. Good. Get them moving. Stay on point. Great job. Come on, baby. 10 seconds. Come on. You got this. Come on, no working like you. Let's get this, baby. 5 seconds. Push that. Come on. There we go. Look at that. Woo!
When Ryan Garcia openly acknowledges past distractions, admitting he had been drinking, partying, and neglecting discipline, it feels different from the typical fighter narrative. Rather than offering excuses, the moment comes across as an unfiltered self-assessment delivered in public. It's a candid admission that shifts the focus away from justification and toward accountability, signaling a mindset determined to reset and move forward without denial.
The circumstances are much different, after that year of suspension, it was much different circumstances. I was coming off of suspension, and during that suspension, I was drinking and partying and doing whatever I want for all the way through until they told me that I had to fight. My instincts told me not to. My body wasn't well, it had a lot of toxins in it, as you can imagine. A lot of stupid that I did. But when you have a lot of people in your ear and people are telling you can make $5 million, it's an easy fight, and but internally that it's not the right decision, and I didn't trust my heart and didn't trust my instincts, and
Listening to him now, It's striking to hear the shift in perspective. Ryan Garcia, once labeled unfocused by critics, admits he sensed something was wrong heading into the bout with Rolando Romero. Day after day in camp, he felt out of sync, as if his body and instincts were warning him against the decision that I end the present moment. That reflection sounds like an effort to confront and clear away those lingering doubts, methodically working to leave the past behind and rebuild with sharper awareness and control.
Next workout here, a little bit modified reverse crunch. All right, we're gonna come up, really focusing on getting that core, getting them abs way down in the spine. There it is. Going. Like I said, one of the biggest things for us is keeping his abs on point, keeping his core on point. Woo, look at that. Most importantly, having that stability that he needs for them legs and torso working together. Come on.
If the fully focused version of Ryan Garcia steps into the ring, the moment shifts from spectacle to calculated execution. The noise fades, leaving only discipline, timing, and the measurable force of every exchange. This becomes less about headlines and more about intent, one competitor operating with absolute seriousness. For anyone trying to predict the outcome, the real factor may not be charisma or hype, but precision, control, and the ability to deliver when it matters most. That quiet, almost clinical calm surrounding Ryan Garcia's camp makes the energy from Mario Barrios feel strikingly different. One side projects intention loudly, while the other refines execution in near silence. When Barrios mentions being past the grind of training camp and simply ready to reveal the work he and his team have prepared, it sounds less like emotion and more like disciplined routine. And in elite competition, that steady, methodical mindset can be far more dangerous than any burst of hype or motivation.
You know, with all that experience, you know, that's why I'm taking it into this fight. You know, I've been in there, like I said, you know, with Tank, who's very explosive, very quick. With Pacquiao, very awkward, like someone one of a kind. Thurman, who's a great movement, you know, a big puncher. So yeah, you know, I'm looking to just use everything that has got me to this point.
He then speaks about bringing in Joe Goossen to reconnect with the fundamentals that shaped his rise, suggesting not a complete overhaul, but careful refinement. That kind of measured adjustment becomes especially intimidating when it comes from a seasoned, durable welterweight like Mario Barrios. When Barrios talks about choosing discomfort as a path to growth, it highlights a mentality built on discipline rather than emotion. Set against the rhythm-driven, momentum-based style of Ryan Garcia, the contrast feels sharp and meaningful. Barrios even recognizes Garcia's unpredictability as a genuine threat, yet the tone isn't fearful. It sounds more like calculated, composed respect.
He has said it himself, right? You never know what you're gonna get from him. I also think, you know, that's what makes him, you know, a very dangerous opponent. And you know, I'm not taking this fight lightly. You know, regardless of everything, you know, I might see on social media, you know, everything people might tag me in. This is definitely a fight for both of us. You know, where yeah, man, like I can't and I don't want, you know, another loss. And you know, same for him. You know, so there is a lot riding on this. It's not something that I don't think he's taking lightly.
But the statement that truly stands out comes when Mario Barrios says he wants to push Ryan Garcia into discomfort and find out how deeply he wants to stay in the fight. That doesn't sound like ordinary trash talk. It feels more like a clear strategic blueprint. Pressure, physical presence, size, and patience are all embedded in that single idea. But what's equally telling is how calmly he brushes off the theatrics, describing them as amusing but meaningless. That mindset suggests he isn't battling a public persona. He's focused solely on the opponent in front of him. When he speaks about displaying ring intelligence and experience through a composed title defense, it reflects the thinking of a champion who aims to control moments rather than chase them at the same time. His expectation of facing the best possible version of Garcia reveals disciplined preparation, no underestimation, no emotional noise, only total commitment to the task. A quiet presence paired with powerful intent creates a contrast that feels both tense and dangerous.
I'm not sure, but you know, like I said, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna just like just test him in every way that I can. You know, whether it's pressure, whether it's just that presence, and then just just letting him know you're like that. Like it's not gonna be the way that he thinks.
That calm, methodical champion mindset from Mario Barrios becomes even more compelling when Robert Garcia steps in and essentially describes Ryan Garcia as the sport's biggest uncertainty. The remark that no one truly knows which version of Ryan will appear lands like a psychological uppercut. What makes the observation powerful is that Robert isn't dismissing Ryan's ability in the slightest. He openly admits that with the right training camp, preparation, and conditioning, Ryan has the power to knock Barrios out. That's elite-level respect delivered with careful skepticism. But the tone shifts quickly as he highlights Ryan's inconsistency. The way he can look spectacular on one night and strangely off on another. And that unpredictability is exactly what turns this matchup from something predictable into something volatile, where certainty disappears and tension takes over.
Is one of those kids that we don't know. If he comes out and has that great training camp and great preparation, is in great shape, he could go out and win by knockout, but we don't know.
One version of Ryan Garcia looks like a highlight reel sensation. The other feels tailor-made for an opponent who thrives on breaking rhythm. When Robert Garcia begins questioning the constant trainer changes and the return to Ryan's father, it doesn't come off as gossip. It sounds like a seasoned coach evaluating structure, discipline, and accountability. Then comes the subtle but loaded question: is Ryan the one fully in control now? In that moment, the entire training camp dynamic becomes part of the fight narrative, not just what happens inside the ropes. Yet the perspective isn't purely critical. Robert also makes it clear he's rooting for Ryan, recognizing his star power and the possibility that he could still rise to become boxing's next major face. That blend of concern and belief creates a striking tension, support and skepticism colliding in real time.
Sure, there's fights where he can look sensational, but next fight he doesn't. And that just happened with Haney, and then the next fight against Rollis, he didn't look too good. So we don't know what we're gonna see with Ryan. I hope to, I like Ryan. He's a great dude, Southern California, great kid.
Then the real strategic layer emerges. With Barrios working closely with Joe Goossen, Robert Garcia points out that this could give Barrios an edge. Goossen knows Ryan intimately, giving him an insider perspective that often gets lost when fans focus solely on highlight reels. Yet Robert keeps emphasizing the same critical truth. If Ryan connects cleanly, the fight could shift in an instant. But if Barrios drags the rounds and executes with precision, suddenly the unpredictable fighter faces the pressure. It's a clash of chaos versus calculated experience, a matchup that's anything but straightforward.